These are assembly instructions for my 3D star frame. This is the largest of the star pieces. So I have the back and the front of the star, and these are the walls for my star. I have 4 of them that look like this, and then one that's the same but has 2 rectangular cutouts out of it, and that's for the exterior walls of my star. And then I have 5 pieces that look like this, and these are for the interior walls of my star. So for these pieces, I have thin tabs at the top and at the bottom, and I'm folding them towards me. And then I have a score line in the center, and that is a valley fold, so I'm folding it on itself like so. And then I have a tab at the end, and I'm folding that away from me. So my piece should look like this. All 5 of them are folded the exact same way. And for the outside walls, I'm folding this end tab towards me, and then I'm folding the top tabs away from me, and those bottom tabs away from me. And then that tab in the middle becomes a mountain fold, so I'm folding my panels away from me. I'm doing that for all 5 of these pieces, including the one that has the cutouts. So first I'm going to start with the walls for the interior of my star. So I have the 5 pieces that have those pointed ends on them. So this is the wrong side of my cardstock, and this is the part that's going to show. Flipping my piece over and putting glue on that tab from the score line to the end, and then I'm laying it right on the cut edge of the next piece. So I want the score line to be right along the cut edge of my piece, and I want the score lines at the top and at the bottom to be even. And so that forms a point for the inside of my star. So I'm going to keep doing that with all 5 pieces. It's a little bit easier if you fold back that tab, putting glue on that tab, and then take another one of your wall pieces and just butt it right up against that score line, and then fold it back. And then just flip it over and make sure that it's right on that score line, and that the score lines on either side are nice and even. So next I'm taking one of my star frame pieces. I have my wall piece. I'm starting at one end, and I'm putting glue all over that top tab, so from the score line to the very tip. And then I'm taking my frame piece, and I have the right side facing up, and I'm matching up the interior of my star with the edge of my piece, like so. So the score line at the top of my wall piece is following along the interior of my star. So the vertical score line should be right at the point of my star. So next I have my next tab piece. I'm actually going to put glue on the 2 next pieces. So these are the tabs that are at the top of my wall piece, and I want to match up the 2 points with the point of my star. So that score line is right on the inside of the frame of my star on both sides. I'm just flipping over and I'm looking at the underside of it. The 2 points should match up underneath, like so. So next I'm moving on to the next 2, and I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm putting glue on both tabs at the top that form the point of my star, and then I'm gluing them down to my frame piece, making sure that the score line matches up with the cut edge of the interior of my star. And again, I'm positioning those points. You want to make sure that they line up at the bottom as well. You can go in with your bone folder and just reinforce and spread that glue. On to my next point. I'm putting glue all over the next 2 tabs, and then lining them up. And so once again, the exact same thing. I'm just putting glue on the tabs and gluing my frame in place. So I started with half a point, so I'm just finishing off the second half of that point with that final tab, and I'm putting glue all over it, gluing it right into place. And then I have that final tab to join it all together. So I'm putting glue from the score line to the end. This is the tab that's on the inner wall, and gluing it to the inside of my star. So all those tabs are glued in onto the inside where you won't see them. So now I'm going to attach the outer walls. So I have 4 of them that are exactly the same. I'm starting with the first one. I'm putting glue on the tab from the score line to the end. And then I'm joining the next wall right to the score line of my tab. I want the top and the bottom score lines to be even. And then I'm doing that with the next one. And I'm joining in the third one. So the cut edge is right against the score line of that tab. And then the fourth one. And then I'm taking my last one, and the last one has the rectangular cutouts in it. But it gets glued in the exact same way. I have 2 ends, one end that's solid and one end that has the cutouts in it. I'm starting with the end that has the solid panel. I'm putting glue all along that top piece, and I'm sneaking it right underneath my frame. I want the very corner to be right at the tip of my star. So the score line of that tab is right along the cut edge of my frame. That score line is right at the tip of my star point. So next I'm putting glue on the next tab, and I'm just sneaking it under and gluing it in. And at this point I can flip it over and open up the bottom and just go in there with my bone folder and spread that glue. So I'm putting glue on the next 2 tabs to form my star point. And I'm folding it right under that frame piece. And again, I'm flipping it over. I'm going to pull those tabs away and just go in there with my bone folder to reinforce the glue. So I'm working my way around the perimeter of the star, just gluing in the outer walls the exact same way. With the final triangles, you can actually go in from the rectangular cutout and help place those points. On the last panel, I'm putting glue on the top tab and on the side tab. I'm going to sneak that side tab in. So I'm gluing that side tab in and that top tab in place. So then I'm going to flip my star over. So I want the tabs that are coming up from the outer wall to cover the other tabs, like so. If any of your inner tabs have made their way to the top, you want to fold them under and just bring that outer tab over. And do that all the way around. And then I'm temporarily lifting up the tab from the outer wall, putting glue on the tab that's underneath, and then just gluing that piece down. I like to go in with my reverse tweezers and just pinch it until my glue takes. I'm just working my way around my star, doing the exact same thing for all 5 points, and just gluing down that top layer. And so now I'm on the last 2 panels, and these are the ones that have the openings in them. I'm going in from the inside and just pinching that tab into place. And I'm doing that on this second side as well. Then I have the frame piece that pulls it all together. So I'm putting glue all over the flat edge of my star on all 5 points. And then I'm taking my frame and I'm just positioning it. I may have to pull in the sides a little bit. I want the points to exactly follow the edges of my star frame. So I've got these 2 rectangular panels to cover up the openings at the bottom of my star. So I'm just putting glue around the perimeter. And I'm just centering them on the bottom of the star. I'm doing that on the other side as well. And so there's my star. For my stars, I've made 3 different sizes. So I have my largest version, and then I have one that's slightly smaller, and then I have a third one that's even smaller. And I have these Christmas ornaments that I got at the dollar store, and I am going to put them inside to decorate the insides of my stars. So this is my largest star. So I'm using my hot glue gun, and I'm putting glue on my ornaments, and I'm just gluing them to the other ornaments and to the perimeter of my star. So with absolutely no rhyme or reason to it, I'm just going to keep adding my ornaments to the interior of my star on the bottom part between these 2 points. So now that I've decorated the biggest one, which is my base star, I'm going to glue my middle size one to the top like so. And then I'm going to decorate this section here. I'm putting glue all along one of the panels on one of the points. It's not as wide as this one, it's a little narrower, so there's going to be a little border at the front and at the back. I want them to be approximately the same. I want the point of my star just to be at the join between these 2 points. I'm just gluing that in. And then I'm going to take more of my ornaments and I'm going to glue them in. So I've got the largest star on the bottom, and then I have the bottom point of my second star glued to the top point of my larger star, the base star. And then I'm just going to glue my smallest star to the right hand side of that point. So I'm going to cover that half of that point with glue and just glue it to the right hand side of the middle sized star. So now I've positioned all my ornaments and used the hot glue to secure them inside the stars. So now I've added LED lights for a little bit of a different effect.